sir. How's everyone doing?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you receive this. What's up?
Yeah.
What up, peoples?
That's true. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going, in your favor. If not, stay positive and just keep moving forward, man.
Hey, give thanks. Straight up. Let's get it.
Yes,
so,
sir.
today's on a different vibe. Not to say on a sad note, but, we usually talk about ball, but like we said, we ain't trying to put ourselves in, like, no boxes out here. We're trying to definitely keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing I do want to start off with is, first thing, R.I.P. Nip, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. My condolences to his family and
Definitely.
all those who were close to him.
Definitely. Lauren London, our condolences too for, having to take such a great loss. Pretty sure from your version, he was a great husband, great man, father, and many more things.
Yeah, you can add a bunch of things to his title: an entrepreneur, an artist, a speaker.
Definitely, he had a lot of titles underneath his belt, man. It did happen. Well, I think
A couple days ago.
So it's still fresh to a lot of people. This is not for clout, anything for that. It was just something that we
Absolutely
just felt
not.
like just paying respects to, and
Yeah.
Nip, I can definitely say, when I first heard him, I think the first track I heard him was Hustle in the House. And he looked like like at the beginning I was kinda like, okay, it's very catchy. The beat and everything was catchy, throwback beat, chopped it up. But something different was like I got a different feel about Nip. Like
I remember that. Yeah, you bumped that track.
I kind of started off like, yo, this guy, what's wrong with the gang? Everything else, his vibe, everything was good. And I think that was my first track that got me on him. That he got me on, let's so to say. In that
it was
aspect.
his track. Yeah.
Nip definitely was very catchy with his words, but growing into more of learning into him, I think the next album I listened to was The Marathon Continues, or I think it was The Marathon. Whichever.
I think it's The Marathon.
I think it was The Marathon first.
Because you got me on that one, and some of my friends were listening to it as well, and a couple of tracks caught me. I was like, yo, like this guy's like, he's not just rapping about like mainstream things, like
It was
having
different,
bread,
man.
having money, having women, whatever. But he throwing some things that I'd be like, what did you just say, bro?
He threw in a lot of jewels, man, and that was the thing too.
You're right.
Because the more that I start to listen to him, and obviously he has his mainstream tracks or whatever, but like his tracks that were deeper than surface, I was like, yo, this guy's really different, yo. Like Nip is not really trying to be like all these other artists that want to talk about not really try to make their main focus talking about like the jewels and getting
cars,
all
clothes, money.
these stuff that are not really relevant or these things that come and go. But
he did talk about it, but
he did. But I'm just saying,
level,
like he had a lot of message. It felt like he was speaking in certain tracks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I know Nipsey Hussle front to back, but on an honest level, like a lot of music I listen to, and especially tracks when you kind of break down certain things, I was like, yo, Nips is trying to leave you with something, or he's just spitting something that he knows that could change your mind or influence you or have you think a different type of way. And
I agree with that.
The thing too that I don't want to get off topic. Maybe you want to go first. Some tracks that probably hit you, or is it just more like an overall thing with you?
It's more like an overall thing. Like I said, the marathon continues. The marathon, I didn't necessarily like go through every track and be playing them every single day, but I do know that there was a couple songs that I would hear, and it just opened my mind sometimes. So I was like, yo, like this guy doesn't have a flow where it's like he's trying to like impress you. Of course his flow was nice, you know, but it sounded more like he was like speaking to you. Like if while he was rapping he was like, you know, there was a certain person in mind that he had, and he was trying to like, you know, get at that person. Not get at them in a sense where it's like I'm trying to like critique you or say something negative about you. But it was actually just like like he was spitting to influence you and tell you something like, yo, do this or look at things like that. And of course he had the mainstream things that he talked about, you know, which is, you know, money, woman, cars, success, and all that stuff, and being with his boys and doing that, which, you know, that was his lifestyle, which is why he spoke about it. But for me, just some of the things that I heard, I was like, damn, he doesn't sound like everybody else.
Yeah, he definitely he set himself different from a lot of people, but like even just like when he started this whole marathon, when he started the whole marathon movement, you can just tell that the people that are really trying to understand Nipsey, and for the people that definitely behind scenes even spoke to him, he was definitely trying to have a movement of a lot of influence within his movement and things that he was talking about. There was a clip even talking about, he's saying like gaining, like possessing land and stuff like that, and
that clip was pretty powerful.
That was young Nip too.
Yeah, man. For those that know me, like I always talk about wanting to buy real estate, trying to own, you know, land, because as you guys know, God's not making any more land, so which is why real estate is so powerful. Everybody needs a place to live, you know. So if you can find a strategy, and learn how to buy property, it can do, you know, some great things, you know, building wealth, leaving a legacy for your family, you know, that your kids can walk into, your kids can walk into, you know, which is what he did. And that was pretty powerful. The guy who was hosting the interview on the street was like, you know, you're a young upcoming rapper, you know, like, and asking a bunch of things like, and guys, I think he said like, I don't know, like, what are you looking for? Like, you know, what do you want? How come you're not wearing no jewels and stuff? He's like, well, you know, like, I'm trying to purchase some land, you know, get some I don't think he said appreciation, but he's like, you know, purchase some land, you know, own something. And I ain't trying to buy no depreciating, you know, things like chains, you know, cars and all that stuff, or getting tricked out by women, or, you know, whatever he said. So I was like, yo, that's powerful, man. Like,
that's young, man.
And it's funny, I seen that Instagram clip, because it was on YouTube, and maybe a bunch of other places, but I remember seeing that on Instagram like a while back, maybe like a year or two, or maybe more, and from one of those accounts, you know, those accounts that just like bring up information and things, and like, you know, try to get you to think. That's where I seen it, and I was like, that's crazy. And you know, now that he passed away, that clip resurfaced, and I'm like, yo, man, like, that's deep. Somebody was in his corner, and they were speaking to him and telling him the right and necessary things.
They're putting him on game.
Yeah, for man. Real, especially departing that in his mind at a young age, and now seeing how he grown and he developed himself. It's like he really did that in the song that he just came out with, Racks in the Middle. I was listening to it, and he's like, he's about to close on 2 commercial properties. Maybe that slipped by a lot of people's mind, but, you know, I love real estate. I want to buy and control real estate. So when I heard that, I was like, yo, like, that's deep, man. Because he said it as a kid, like, I want to buy some land. And the man just said in the track, you know, God rest his soul, that he's closing on 2 commercial properties. It's just like, yo, that's sick. Like, I like that.
When you actually take it in, like, he was walking, he was speaking his things into existence, and he was walking into them, man. Like, Nip was honestly it was a big L to the world, man. Like
Big L, man.
It honestly hurts, man.
It's a huge L.
A lot of people too, when we always talk about, like, you know, when we make it big, we want to give back to the hood and give back to, like, our ends where we come from and stuff like that. Those things have always been, like, such a big influence, and Nip spoke that into existence.
Yeah.
Right on his ends. He built, like, the Marathon Continue store was there. He owned, like, that whole corner. Like, I even seen a clip how, like, he even had a spot where you can buy, like, prepaid cell phones and stuff like that. Like, he had a lot of people when they get big, they move out the ends because there's a lot of hate that comes from it. When you blow up big, some people do end up hating on you. Some people do love you too. You get a mixture of both.
Of course.
But the fact that he could have made it big, gone somewhere else, and done his other things over there, but he said, you know what, like, I'm a make sure I take care of my people
and make a difference.
And I'm gonna make a difference. A lot of people might look at him like he's crazy for that, but you know what though?
Yeah.
I always feel like this way sometimes of myself. A lot of things that I say want to do, or a lot of things that I do or try to spit to other people, they might look at you like, yo, you're crazy.
Oh yeah, or like,
why would you do something like that when you can do this? But like,
just on another level, where they're asking why you, and like, why would you want to, when there's a greater purpose or a greater mission.
The thing that, like, I think we were speaking about this yesterday, but the thing that really touched me the most, which is actually big about that, is because he's thinking of where he came from and knew how much that was of a struggle. And obviously you wanna give thanks for making it out of that struggle that you came from, and you're able to, like, get to another place, or get to a better, put yourself in a better place.
Facts.
But now he's thinking of, you know, the next generation coming up, the next one after that, the people that's around that's still there, that haven't moved out yet. Like, this is a guy that was on his ends as much as possible, looking out, communicating with his people, trying to help people. And it's just sad that a lot of hate comes from the ends, especially a guy that was doing something that
positive.
He was flying and going on tours and trips and doing all of these things, still making time for his woman and his kids, and still on the end supporting his people. He knew his cause, and even from one other snippet I seen that he was talking about the Marathon Continues and stuff, and he was talking about being able, like, to do everything, like, 100%, and, like, on a deeper level, he was even talking about ready to die for it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to get into that. That's a little bit too touchy for me. You know, even though I don't know Nip, like, I know how it feels to lose someone close. I don't really want to get into anything on that level. But, like, the Nip was a big influence, man. That honestly hurt. When I first seen it, I seen a couple posts. I was like, why is people putting up this? Like, why is people putting pictures of Nip? And then when I seen the news, I can't even lie. Just from that much of how he impacted me on music, I haven't felt hurt. Like, I felt hurt immediately. And
I get it.
Yo, one thing I just want to say on a real level is, you know, every day you wake up, you have someone, you love someone, we all love someone. Tell me you love them, man. Every day. You know,
tell your family that you love them this morning,
appreciate them every day. Give God thanks and give God the glory and the honor that you can wake up to see another day. Because
man, you have to.
I've been having these vibes, like, when I go to the gym or whatever I got to do. Like, I'm gonna give it my all, because, you know, there's 24 hours in this day. I want to make the best out of it. I want to tell the people that I love them, that's close to me. I want to tell people I appreciate them, because just honestly, this was just like another eye opener.
100% it's an eye opener. And the fact that he spoke to people on many different levels was super important, because of course we're all different as people, right? There may be someone that you listen to that influences you because, you know, certain things that they do or just who they are. So I appreciate the fact that, you know, Nipsey Hussle as a rapper, you know, an artist, he was able to take the information that he was given and use it to influence the people, you know, around the rap culture. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that because he could just store the information that he's learned for himself and just keep doing what he's doing. And the fact that, you know, he's spreading light on a number of topics. What I appreciate is the wealth topic, because there's a lot of people, you know, like, that are struggling, you know, they don't know how to get it. And, you know, he's giving you keys, telling you to own real estate. You know, I was watching an interview where he was talking about cryptocurrency. Now, that's something that I don't have any expertise in. I know very, you know, a very limited amount about cryptocurrency. That is not something that we can touch or feel. But it's a form of currency. It has value. And he was just like being a leader for his community, for his culture, and sharing that information and telling people, like, look, this is something that, you know, is close by to us, like in the near future, where people are going to be purchasing things with this form of currency. It's not like it's not a paper currency. It's not a coin. You know, it's not something like I said that you can see, feel, or touch. Yeah, you can see it, whatever. It shows up in your account in wherever you store your crypto, right? So the fact that he was just giving some information on that and telling people, yo, be alert for something like that, and all the other things that he touched on, I really, really, really appreciate that. For myself, like, you know, I like to do research and learn about new things. So that's something that when he said that, I was like, oh shoot, like, this guy knows about that?
Definitely.
You know, like, as a rapper, it's a thing where, you know, people who, you know, are artists, they just like to focus on, you know, like, I'm gonna make this bread, I'm gonna spend this bread, I'm gonna buy the nicest whip, chains, whatever it is, and, you know, neglect all the important things. Like, you're making all this money, where are you parking your money? You know, what are you buying? Assets? You know, like, what are you buying? Are you buying depreciating things that are not going to make you money, you know, later on down the future? And you know, for him to talk about some of these things and just bring light and educate the people in this culture, I appreciate that, man. And it goes a long way.
Like, just to shed a little bit of light on that, the main thing what I even got out of that from even you influencing, from your influence and from what you shared from what he was saying, is that as a community, if you're trying to make your community stronger, you got to be able to, like, share these things to help the person beside you. So just my thing I want to just leave people off with is, like, let's spread love with each other every day and unity and try to come together as people. But on a realer note, though, let's educate each other too. If I know something that I could share to you to help you grow, share it. I'm going to share it. If you feel the same way, share it with me. The only way we're stronger as a unity and together is if we're all on the same page. And Nip was just trying to shed light to a lot of things, even on the health and stuff, unity, from like, man, Dr. Sibi and stuff like that. Like, he knew a lot, but he shared a lot. You know what I'm saying? And as people, we just need to share a lot of information to try and help each other out so we can all succeed together. Because what is it if I have some information that's key and information that can help me grow, but I'm sitting here saying I want to see my community grow, but I'm not sharing anything with you or anybody else. You know, and
good point, because you know what, there are a lot of people in our communities that are well off. And I'm not just talking about finances. They could be in a relationship of 10 years, 15, 20 years. And, you know, not that there's secrets to having a good relationship, but there may be some key things that they are doing to ensure that their relationships are 100. So, you know what I mean? It's like, you just got to share the information with people around you, friends, family. It doesn't matter who you meet. There's somebody in your community that's lacking information and knowledge, you know, share it with them. Help somebody out. And that's something that I make, you know, important in my life, is to always, like, share new information, you know, encourage one another. That's super important, man. You probably have a brother who's down and out right now and needs some encouragement, needs someone to, you know, just help them get in a better vibe, a better state.
Big facts.
And take it upon yourself to do that, man. be that person amongst your friends, amongst, you know, people that you chill with, and just be that person that's like always positive, always in a good state, in a good mood, no matter if you're going through something personally. You know, make it a point to be that person. I want to be that person. So, you know, this loss with Nipsey Hussle is tragic, man. But it gives people a different perspective, because now people are diving into all the things that he's done, all the things that he said, and they're like, oh wow, like this guy was really impactful, you know. So it really does hurt the fact that somebody took it upon themselves and took his life. But I just thank God for him and what he was able to do, and things that he said that impacted lots of people's life. Definitely. And J. Cole said it, man, in one of his tracks. You know what I mean? Like, the real ones is dying and the fake ones is lit. And yo, there's a lot of people in the music industry, and I'm saying music industry because he was an artist and that was his industry. And there's a lot of them just spitting a bunch of garbage, man. And it's like, yeah, it's cool if you're just turning up or you're just like chilling, you know, you want to track on and it sounds live, it sounds lit. But if you're just spreading garbage, especially to the young ones who are coming up, they really listen to that, man. Like, some man's be talking about doing some wild things, and these kids are just soaking it up. Like, I guess this is cool. I guess this is sick. And then you have a guy like Nipsey who's spitting the truth in his verses and his lyrics. He's shedding light, and it's like, now the fact that he died, people are like, all right, like, you know, this guy was shedding some bars, sharing, you know, some key things, some jewels, some gems. And it's just sad that it had to come to that.
Word. Last thing. I know this one specific guy that said something yesterday. I just want to kind of shed just a little something about it. Kodak Black. My thing I just want to give and use him as an example right now is, you got to know the right time of when to be saying things. When's the right time to say things? I've always been taught there's a right time to say things, a right time to do things. There's a time and a season for everything. It even says in the Bible, my guy. But Lauren's grieving right now. The family's grieving. Friends and close ones are grieving from this loss. This is a big loss to not only his community, his wife, but a lot of people that really had a lot of respect for him. This hurts. You picking the words to say what you want to say, that doesn't fly with me. I find that pretty lame to be talking about the man's wife and all this stuff. You might have even, like what you were saying, people didn't go back and listen to the things I said before. I'm gonna help my community and stuff. That part's great. Whatever.
Yeah, you can't talk about another.
Don't be talking about a man's wife right now. That's going through a big loss.
After he just passed, that's not cool. And you know what? We're pointing it out because
it needs to be pointed out.
It needs to be pointed out. When somebody does something wrong, you don't necessarily need to bash them, but you need to tell them, so that way they know it's wrong and they don't carry out the same act in the future, right? And, you know, to the people who were listening to his live or wherever he was talking about Nipsey Hussle's wife, there's people in the comment section. So you're setting a bad example for them as well, because there's some kids, or it doesn't matter how old you are, who are listening to that and probably laughing and making jokes, or like, wow, ha ha ha, like, you know, that's so funny, or like, you know, maybe you should
laughing about it.
Yeah,
it's not funny.
There's people who may think that that's right and it's wrong. So we're not here to bash, but we're here just to point out, like, listen, that was a goofy move. So
just the example I just want to give by, like I said, using it as a platform as people.
Use your words wisely, man.
Use our words wisely, but let's think of what we're going to say before we say it, because sometimes just wanting to say whatever will not come off the way as how you think.
Exactly.
Because now he's trying to go back and try and
Take back
retrace
his
his
words.
steps in his words.
No, but then he's like, I don't care. He's like, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be me.
Because you already knew somewhat in your mind
that was the wrong.
It was the wrong thing you said, and now it's out there. So obviously, you want to try and be the tough guy. Being a tough guy in these situations don't help you.
Yeah, because you already made a wrong, and it's obvious that you were wrong because now you're trying to retrace your steps, and now you know you're wrong. She's like, whatever. I said what I said. You come find me. Come check me. You know, it's an on-site thing.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you said what you said. Think about what you're saying before you say it.
And that goes to everybody.
Even us. We have to think of what we say before we say it, because you never know who's listening, who's watching, who might take what you say a certain wrong way. But that's all I just wanted to say, just like that. But
yeah, man.
Once again, thank y'all for taking time out to listen to our points and views on just what we think about, and
appreciate you guys.
Everyone else, man. Spread love. Love is love.
The marathon must continue.
It must continue. We all play a part in making the world a better place, and just kind of continue that legacy of what he left. And he
just
definitely
try to be better, man. Just as a person, just do the best you can.
He shedded light and knowledge to all of us, so we need to do that for each other too.
Yeah, man. So let's try to be better in all aspects of our lives. And so thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Bryan Brothers podcast.
Definitely.
We really appreciate you guys, man. Keep rocking with us. So for the other episodes of the Bryan Brothers podcast, go to our description and click the link on SoundCloud. We have a bunch of episodes out on there, covering a couple Raptors games that we had watched. We had some difficulties, man, with our camera. We were using a phone before, but now we actually went out and bought a camera. So now we're ready to go. We're rolling. Still got some things to fix and adjust as we're starting, but there's no excuse. So let's just keep it going.
Must continue.
And we appreciate you guys, man. Go in the comment section if you listen to Nipsey Hussle's tracks. Let us know, what track did you listen to? How did he influence you? And
exactly.
Thank you so much.
Love is love, guys.
All the best. We appreciate you guys. Take care. Peace.